Quantum field theory, or QFT, is a theoretical framework that combines quantum mechanics, I'm going to say it QM, and special relativity SR. Generally speaking, quantum mechanics is a theory that describes the behavior of small systems, such as atoms and individual electrons. Special relativity is the study of high-energy physics. That is the motion of particles and systems at velocities near the speed of light, but without gravity. What follows is an introductory discussion to give you a flavor of what quantum field theory is like. We will explore each concept in more detail in the following lesson. There are three key ideas we want to recall from quantum mechanics. The first one being the physical observable are mathematical operators in the theory. For instance, the Hamiltonian or energy of a simple harmonic oscillator is the operator h bar omega where this A hat and A hat without the cross. This is called the creation and annihilation operators. H bar is Planck constant. The second key idea you should remember from quantum mechanics is the uncertainty principle. The uncertainty relation between the position operator x hat and the momentum operator p hat is like this. There is also an uncertainty relation between energy and time. When considering the uncertainty relation between energy and time, it's important to remember that time is only a parameter in non-relativistic quantum mechanics, not an operator. The final key idea to recall from quantum mechanics is the commutation relation. In particular, position and momentum, we have AI h bar. Now let's turn to special relativity. We can jump right into Einstein's famous equation that every lay person knows something about in order to see how special relativity is going to impact quantum mechanics. This is the equation that relates energy to mass. E equals mc squared. What should you take away from this equation? The thing to notice is that if there is enough energy proportional to given particle's mass as described by this equation, then we can create the particle. Due to conservation laws, we actually need twice the particle's mass so that we can create a particle and its antiparticle. So in high energy process, particle number is not fixed. and the types of particle present are not fixed. These two facts are in direct conflict with non-relativistic quantum mechanics. In non-relativistic quantum mechanics, we describe the dynamics of a system with the Schrödinger equation, which for a particle moving in one dimension with a potential V, we have so this is the famous wave function. We can extend this formalism to treat the case when several particles are present. However, the number and types of particles are absolutely fixed. The Schrödinger equation here cannot, in any shape or form, handle the changing particle numbers or new types of particles appearing and disappearing as relativity laws. In fact, there is no wave equation of the type we are used to form non-relativistic quantum mechanics that is truly compatible with both relativity and quantum theory. Early attempts to merge quantum mechanics and special relativity focus on generating a relativistic version of the Schrödinger equation. In fact, Schrödinger himself derived a relativistic equation prior to coming up with the wave equation he is now famous for. The equation he derived, which was later discovered independently by Klein and Gordon, and is now known as the Klein-Gordon equation, is like this. We will have more to say about this equation in future lesson. Schrödinger discarded it because it gave the wrong fine structure for the hydrogen atom. It is also plagued by an unwanted feature. It appears to give negative probabilities, something that obviously contradicts the spirit of quantum mechanics. This equation also has funny feature. It allows negative energy states. The next attempt at a relativistic quantum mechanics was made by Dirac. So this is first one is Klein-Gordon. And then Dirac, his famous equation is to make it different, because this one is P, this one is psi. Sorry, this one is P, yes, this one is psi. I mean, this one is psi, this one is P. Here, alpha and beta are actually matrix. This equation, which we will examine in detail in later lesson, resolves some of the problems of the Klein-Gordon equation, but also allows for negative energy states. As we will emphasize later, part of the problem with this relativistic wave equation is in their interpretation. We move forward into a quantum theory of fields by changing how we look at things. In particular, in order to be truly compatible with special relativity, we need to discard the notion that phi and psi in the Klein-Gordon and Dirac equation respectively describe single particle states. In their place, we propose the following new idea, that the phi and psi are not wave function at all. Instead, they are fields. The fields are operators that can create new particles and destroy particles. Since we have promoted the fields to the status of operators, they must satisfy commutation relation. We will see later that we make a transition of the type like this. Into here, this small p is another field that plays the role of momentum in quantum field theory. Since we are transitioning to the continuum, the commutation relation will be of the form this. Sorry. Equal I h bar where x and y are 2 points in space. This type of relation holds within it the notion of causality so important in special relativity. If two fields are spatially separated, they cannot affect one another. Fields with fields promoted to operators, you might wonder what happens to the ordinary operators of quantum mechanics. There is one important change you should make sure to keep in mind. In quantum mechanics, position x hat is an operator while time t is just a parameter. In relativity, since time and position are on similar footing, we might expect that in relativistic quantum mechanics, we would also put time and space on a similar footing. This could mean promoting time to an operator t. This is not what is done in ordinary quantum field theory, so where we take the opposite direction and demote position to parameter x. So this is not. Instead, in quantum field theory, field P and psi are operators and parameterized by space-time point x and t. So position x and time t are just numbers that fix a point in space-time. They are not operators. Momentum continues to play a role as an operator. In quantum field theory, We frequently use tools from classical mechanics to deal with fields. Specifically, we often use the Lagrangian. The Lagrangian is important because symmetries such as rotation leave the form of the Lagrangian invariant. The classical path taken by a particle is the one which minimizes the action. Yes. And we will see how these methods are applied to fields in later lesson.